Hey guys, welcome back. Kamina the Koach here. I'm doing a quick video. I know it's really dark in here. It's dawn earlier than when I did my last video. So I really want to do a video about something that I hear a lot. And I just want to talk to you about how your fear is holding you back from all the joy that you deserve in your life. So, for those of you who have been following me, you know that Mexico is my heart's desire. That's where I want to return to live. So, the last conversation I was having with someone was about going to Mexico. And the question that I get all the time is, aren't you afraid? Well, coming from a person who's living in the United States, that's quite laughable because if you're afraid of something, aren't you afraid of living in the United States? The United States has more mass shootings per capita than any other country in the world. Even with countries where bombings are going on, civilians don't have guns and aren't shooting up schools the way that they are in the United States. So come on, guys. Aren't you afraid? So the truth is that I don't have time or energy to live my life in fear. I lived in Kurdish Iraq, folks, twice, not once, but twice. The first time I lived in Kurdish Iraq, I wasn't far from Mosul. I was about 45 minutes from where bombings were going on. Many of my students were children of martyrs. Their fathers and brothers had been killed in these horrible wars. Was I afraid? I was sad. My heart went out to these beautiful, amazing children. Um, I had students who had had to walk barefoot across dead bodies to escape their villages. If anything, I feel humbled. Um, I lived in Saudi Arabia during a time when Iran slash Yemen was sending bombs in. At the time I lived in Riyadh, I think we had 3 or 4 bombings that I could actually feel. They felt like small earthquakes. What fear? Perpetual fear? No, I don't really have time or energy for that. Where I live now, I love Myanmar. It's a beautiful, amazing country, but even Myanmar, if you do your research, Myanmar has its problems as well. Do I have time or energy? So anyway, so let's back up. So Bowling for Columbine, amazing movie. If you know anything about the history of the United States, you know that it's a country born and bred in fear. Certainly not by the Native Americans, but by the colonizers that brought that fear with them. So they fled what they had going on in their countries because of fear of persecution. Then they got to the United States, or they got to the natives' land, and then they're afraid of the natives, so they're violent and horrible to these natives. And then so they're afraid of the natives, so they enact all these horrible acts of genocide. And then they're afraid of doing work, so they capture millions of Africans and bring them to do their work. And then they free the Africans, and then they're afraid of the Africans, so Jim Crow laws. But you see how fear has been such a perpetually dangerous weapon, and it hasn't been anything that's done anything good for humanity over the ages. If you live your life in true faith that everything is going to work out the way that it is supposed to work out. I genuinely live my life in a state of this too shall pass. I'm in a very happy place right now, but I'm aware that this too shall pass. There will come another time when there will be a hard time in my life. And I understand that when I get to that point, as long as I look at it as there's something for me to learn from this, there's somebody in this situation who's going through something worse than me, somebody that I could help. I always try, I am at a point in my life where I always try to see the situation like that. There's something for me to learn. there's somebody who's struggling more to me, somebody that I can help, somebody that even though I am struggling, that I can help in the midst of my pain and suffering. Because I choose not to live my life in fear, because I choose to live my life in a state of what's next, what are the possibilities, I am able to live my life to the absolute fullest. I'm able to live the kind of life that people look at. Now, it's not to say that I feel this way about my life, but people are able to look at my life and say, wow, I wish I could do that. It is only because I am able to live without being in that state of fear that I am able to live that kind of life. I have worked in 7 to 8 countries, and I've traveled to many more of those countries. All of this as a single woman of color, which makes me a target to some degree. But if I was to live my life in fear, I wouldn't have experienced any of these things. I've been bungee jumping, I've rode four-wheelers in the jungle, I've been scuba diving in many amazing waters in the world, all alone. Guys, fear. Wait, one more thing before I go. I one perpetual fear of mine for a long time, and how I destroyed a lot of probably potentially amazing relationships, was fear of being alone and dying alone. I've pushed really amazing people out of my life because of that fear of being alone, that fear of not having children, that fear of not having a partner and a mate. Let me tell you guys, once I got to a point where I understand that I'm not alone, that I am a beautiful, unique wave in an ocean that we share together, and there's no way I could ever possibly be alone. Once I came to this place, I am surrounded by people that are dying to be in my life. Once you let go of fear, everything just falls into place. You can have all of the things that you want. You can have the joy in your life that you need and deserve. Guys, stop living in fear. Live in hope. Live in joy. Wishing you all of that love, joy, hope, and peace. Kamina the Koach. I'll see you the next time.